Good evening, everyone. Can y'all believe it's Friday? Another week has almost passed. Put my fish light back on, please. Um, has passed, and it's Friday, and it's hot. When I tell you it's hot, it's hot. Um, Hi, how's everybody doing? I'm Renee Williams, a recovering addict. I know who I am, and it took us a long way to get there, but we got there. I want to open up with a little prayer to the God of our understanding. God, thank you. I thank you for every test, every testimony, every grace, mercy. We thank you for delivering us off of drugs, alcohol, whatever the disease may bring up on us. We do have a disease, and it's called an addiction. And I thank you so much for allowing me to get on this broadcast and to tell somebody and help somebody we don't have to use. And I love saying that. This disease, I hate this disease. And I will keep saying that as long as I live and won't use no matter what. My God, my God. Okay, y'all. Hi. I hope y'all having a safe weekend. You know, I'm trying to stay cool. Asking God to continue to take the driver's seat in our lives. That we may drive in the right lane, because sometimes we get out of lane. And before I get into that, I want to give a shout out to anyone who's celebrating clean time, anyone that is celebrating 30 days just for today, 60 days, 90 days, 12 months, multiples of years. Congratulations to you, because nobody know but you what you endured to treat yourself to some happiness and joy again. Nobody knows that but you. And I celebrate you today. And don't you give up, no matter what happens, no matter what you go through, no matter how bad you hurt. Don't you ever give up. And that's why I ask God to stay in the driver's seat. And I get on to that further. I like to celebrate the therapist today. I'm giving this to you all too. I never leave you out. I thank y'all for the work that you do. I thank you for the help that you give God's peoples. I thank you for teaching us about the drug addiction, the disease of an addiction. I thank you so much for the counselors and the therapists, because you've been there. And most of you that's drug counselors and therapists have been on drugs or have been introduced to drugs or know somebody who's on drugs. And the work that you do helps save my life and save millions. I ain't just talking about here in Wisconsin. I said millions of people's lives. And I'm grateful for that. And I always give a shout out to you all, because the work that you do, you constantly doing it every day, inpatient, outpatient. And it's something that a lot of people haven't endured, so they don't know. But the ones, the millions ones who done came through treatment and had counselors and therapists, we don't forget you. We don't forget what you done for us. And to Sterling White, he was my number one counselor. If somebody else, it might be somebody else. It might be somebody else that helped you along the way. But we don't forget the people that helped us when we were trying to find our way. You get me? It's a beautiful thing. And I take nothing for granted. You know, God has brought us. I want to give a shout out to the 12-step program, 12-step of Narcotics Anonymous program, for enlightening us how this disease works and how proud we must be of ourselves to finally let God take the driver's seat. Now, to me, that's something special, because I was the one, or you were the one, always doing the driving. And that's how we got in trouble. Letting God take over. Letting God show us how to live. Addiction is real. You know, I tell people every day, you know, that I hate this disease, because this disease have took loved ones, have separated households, have separated peoples through drug addiction, kids raised up by themselves because the mother or father's not in the house due to drug addiction. I thank God that we learned how to give him the driver's seat. Addiction. Addiction is terrible. Addiction is something that don't nobody. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. I want to give a shout out to the ones that have lost loved ones with this disease of an addiction. We haven't forgotten you. We still carry you in our hearts. We still love you within our heart. I thank God. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. I thank God that he finally taught me how to let go of the steering wheel. How he taught you how to let go of the steering wheel and do the driving. Recovery is a wonderful thing. To learn things new, to understand the disease, to understand how we made many, many mistakes. And ain't nobody perfect. We all make mistakes. But the good part about making a mistake is learning how can we correct the mistakes we have made. Shout out to the ones that's been left from their loved ones. If you ain't never lost someone or a friend or a loved one or somebody you cared about, a child or a mother or father, cousin, nephew, nieces to drug addiction, then you wouldn't understand. I thank God for the spiritual principles he have taught me in all these readings, and taught me how to live by the principles of the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous program. Addiction is so real and it's devastating, because I know when I came in, I didn't have a platform. I didn't know nothing about the disease. I didn't know nothing about being an addict. We didn't know nothing. And I met a lot of people coming into the program that knew nothing, that was just like me. You know, dumbfounded, just didn't understand, just didn't know how alcohol can turn your life around, how drugs, pills, heroin, Adderall, all the pills they got, Oxycontin, how all this crack can turn your life around in a spiral. I mean, before you know it, years that went by and we still doing the same thing we was doing. We still chasing something that we ain't gonna never get. We ain't gonna never get the high that we got before. But one thing I did get out of this program was a God of my understanding, that I can let go and let him do the driving and steer us in the right way. Thank God for the God of our understanding. And I don't play with that because I know that's who wake us up in the morning. You know, I know that that's who I turned my will and my life over to the care of God. As I understood him, not as you understood him, as I had a relationship with him, as I understand him. Thank you, God, for not giving up on us. You know, because this recovery thing is real. It ain't, you know, I don't know why people think it ain't. I don't know why people think it's a joke. But honey, this saved my life. The 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous program welcomed me with open arms. They say I'm never alone. When I walked into a meeting, they said I'm never alone. I ain't never heard nobody say I ain't never alone to me. I ain't never. Until I came into the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous program. They made me feel so good when I was so lost. You know, you come into a program and you come into your inpatient, your meetings. And I remember when I first went into recovery, it was like 28 of us. And we all became friends. And we all had different stories. The only thing that was different was the face. And I remember coming in and I was so messed up not understanding, how did I get here? What brought me to this point where I have no control no more? What brought me to this point where I'm chasing drugs and I'm drinking every day? You know, I'm at the bottom in my life and nobody could see me. Hey, it's bad when nobody see you. But I walked into a program, they looked at me. They see me. They understand. They knew that they was in that familiar place along with me. I didn't know I had got so bad. I didn't know that the drinking had got so bad. I didn't know that my drug use had just took over my whole thinking, my whole understanding. I didn't know. All I know, it felt good. All I know, we can escape. All the way, everybody that I was holding resentments to, everybody that did me harm, body harm, everybody that did me wrong, I was in a place in my life, well, I needed that. Because, you know, you got to be honest, you know. You know, we can dress up a lie and we can put on makeup and we can get our hair cut and dress in a nice suit but be dead inside because we keep on driving in the wrong lane. Why must I give God the driver's seat? Because my driving, I was crashing. I mean, I was crashing left. I was crashing right. I was crashing going forward. I was making bad decisions. I was getting in trouble. I was losing my grip on my daily life. Letting God take control. I'm tired of crashing. I'm tired of thinking that that the only thing that could save me was drugs. The only thing that can take me out of my misery was drugs. I'm tired of giving the drugs and the alcohol all my joy. All my joy. When I walked into treatment, I had no joy. I had no hope. I had no faith. I was rock bottom. What is rock bottom? Rock bottom is a place that we will visit once we become an addict. And everything we touch, everything we even filter to think is wrong because the drug takes over. The disease of the drug gets in our system and all we think about is how to use and live today to use and use today to live. And that's how my life had became. So a grateful addict, they say never use. But honey, I didn't know about grateful addict then. I can tell you about it today. I can tell you how grateful I am today because I had to learn what a grateful addict would never use meant. It's easy for us to get on the pity pot. It's easy for us to blame somebody else. It's easy for us to take ourselves out of having our own accountability of our mistakes and what we did. It's easy. Blaming mom or dad or the kids or my nephew or my cousin. It's easy. It's easy putting the blame on us because we don't have to look at ourselves. Come on, Renee. We don't have to look at ourselves. I was willing to make a change. Are you? Are the ones that's going to scroll here, are you willing? Can't you look at your life and see that you still doing the same thing? Or are you getting better at pretending, better wearing the different masks and the different faces? Is that you? Well, it was me. And I know I'm not alone when I was using. But the greatest thing I heard when I came into the Rooms of Narcotics Anonymous program, when I came in, and I love all of them, but that Narcotics Anonymous program includes everything: cocaine, alcohol, pills, hair, every drug, every drink is a drug. And don't let nobody tell you it ain't. But when I came in, the most gracious words that I heard: glad to see you. You're not alone. Addicts help other addicts. And I started looking at these people like they was crazy. I mean, it was a whole bunch of them. And I mean, when I came in, everything was new. Everything, I did not understand a jack. I didn't have a pot to piss in. I didn't understand. All I knew, I couldn't keep using. All I knew, I couldn't drinking. All I know I needed was some help. And the God of my understanding came into my life. He was already in my life. But I mean, I can identify him with him more because I'm in trouble now. I need your help, God. I want you to help me, deliver me off of these drugs and alcohol. I need a program. I need something that's going to stir me. God, come on, God. Take the driver's seat. I trust the man that I cannot see. I trust the God of my understanding to take control over something that I've been driving and crashing for so long. That was the best thing that I have ever gave to myself. And I thank God for that. I didn't come into recovery for my mother. I didn't come in here for my kids. I didn't come in here for my old man. I came into treatment to save. We come into treatment to save our lives. Something is wrong. We making mistakes. It ain't getting no better. And when I went in, I was lost, in tears, crying, didn't talk for the first couple of days. I was ashamed. All my feelings inside when emotion was all over the place. I had to learn how to let go. My problem was I didn't want to let go of something that I depended on to help me through the day. What you say, Renee? Through the day. I needed that every day to help me through the day. Some kind of weed, some kind of drink, some kind of pill. I needed something to take me out of my character and put me in a place to where I didn't care. I didn't care. Most addicts that come in didn't care. We had a point in our life, everything went wrong. Everything is going wrong. We was making bad decisions. We wasn't paying no rent. We wasn't doing nothing. We was spending money that we worked hard for. And and the good thing about addicts is smart. Did you hear what addicts is smart? It can reach anybody. Teachers, lawyers, doctors, mothers, fathers, truck drivers. cab drivers. It have no certain person that it wants. It wants everybody. When I tell you it wants everybody, it wants everybody. And I had to find some kind of connection with the God of my understanding and deal with these feelings of mine. And I started taking an inventory of how my life was. And I was in a turmoil. You know, I was broken. Ain't nothing more painful than being broken. Because we can't get it together when we're broken. And so I had to learn how to understand this disease. And I remember going into treatment, and I remember they telling me that, you know, this disease is active, you know, and we have to treat it every day by not using. You know, our thinking gets a little rough, and then when we stop using it, get a little clear. You know, and I remember the craving so bad. Even in when I went into treatment, I still wanted to get out. I still wanted to walk out. The hell with y'all, I'm gone. You know, many times I wanted to get up and leave because I'm an addicted person. I got a disease. And the disease can pop up at any given time. And here these people was trying to help. And I'm in my room thinking about if I could just get a drink, if I can just go get high, then I can feel better. Don't work that way. Ain't you tired? Ain't you tired of playing Russian roulette, Renee? Ain't you tired? Ain't you tired of lying to yourself? Ain't you tired of beating up on yourself? Ain't you tired of playing tricks on people? Ain't you tired of lying? Ain't you tired of pretending that everything is okay every day, every night, and you know that it's not? Ain't you tired of being in trouble? Ain't you tired of staying in trouble? Ain't you tired of making bad decisions? Ain't you tired of loving people for the wrong reason? Ain't you tired of people's playing on you? Ain't you tired of people using you right along with the drug? So now you got, hey, now you got multiple people using you. Now you got the alcohol using you. And the only way that it can use you if you put it inside of your body. I had to do some inventory. I don't know about you, but I had to do some inventory. And when I came in, I had to surrender. I had to take a look at my life, and I had to remember that I had 3 kids at home. And I had to remember that I needed to do this for me. Because, but I didn't want to, so I made it about my kids. Because I love my kids. So maybe I can make it about somebody else that I truly love, that I helped create it. Maybe I can use them until I get over the hump to know that it's about making it about me. But I did. I used my kids. I used my kids. And they are the reason, other than when I found who I really was and who I am. And we have to look at it. We have babies, we have family members, we have kids, and I had to look at it. I got to get it right. Renee, you got to get it right. You got to get it right. Yes, I'm going to die in this disease. Don't think you can't overdose. Don't think it won't hit you. Don't think that you can't be in a place where our loved ones is today. Don't think it can't never happen to you. I thought that. That's why I can talk about it. I thought I would be one of the ones that my kids would find me overdosed or dead somewhere because I like to get high and I didn't want to stop. I had no hope. I had no hope until I started going into treatment, and I started meeting counselors, and I started having therapists, and I started talking about the wreckage of my past. I started cleaning out the closet. I took my hands off the driver's seat, and I realized I wasn't driving no more. I had surrendered to the God of my understanding to take control over my life, because my control, my self-centeredness, my accountability to want to take some blame for my action. I did some bad stuff. I did some bad stuff that I wasn't proud of. That kept me getting high. I had to find a foundation that was going to work for me. I had to find something and hold on to that I wouldn't let go of. God introduced me to the 12-step program. God told me, Renee, if you don't get no better, if you don't get no better, you're going to die using. And I took that seriously. When I turned my will over to God as I understood him, that he's a God that don't never leave us, even in our addiction. My feelings was all over the place. I was so ashamed of me. The person that always thought had everything together. You know, the cleanliness, the working skills, you know, the upbringing was beautiful. My mother had nothing to do with my disease. She had nothing. I had the best mom in the world. She had nothing. I couldn't blame her for nothing that I took my own self through, because we have free will to make decisions, right or wrong. And I chose a lot of wrong because of my addiction. But when I went in treatment, I learned a lot. Them 28 days, I learned a lot. I learned how I wanted to live. I didn't want to die. I learned that I had to surrender. And surrender wasn't easy. That's why a lot of us keep going back out there. And that's why a lot of us is still struggling right now, because we have not learned how to surrender. In order to surrender is saying I'm letting go. I got to trust. I got to trust the program. I got to trust the God of my understanding, because when I came in, I didn't even know about a 12-step program. Didn't know it was a book. Nothing about the 12-step program. And them 28 days taught me a whole lot. It taught me that we, did you hear me? That we are somebody. We made mistakes. We can correct the way we think. That's the whole key, is the way you think. So I had to get around some positive people that knew about drug addiction. They knew about this disease they called addiction. I had to get around some people that I knew that can help me. I had to. I was at a breaking point. We get in the breaking point of our life. I don't care how much you try to fix it up, make it look good. But when you're at a breaking point in your life, you'll know it. You will know it. Hey, Captain, good to see you, baby. You will know it. So when I went into treatment and I came out, I was so scared to come out of treatment. I had learned so much. They had loved on me so much. And I'm sure everybody, the millions of people all over the world that went into treatment, you learned a lot. You learned that long as you don't put the drug in you, long as you don't pick it up, you can go to the next day. That was the scary part for me. Will I make it to the next day? They said all you got to do is go to meetings. All you got to do is stay around positive people. If you got to go to meeting 90 days, I went 90. They suggested that to me, and that's what I did. The counselor suggested that, and I took them up on it. And most of the counselors that I talked to had been clean for years. And then I had to go back to what I asked God of my understanding. Please, God, send me the right peoples in my life that's going to help me, that's going to encourage me, that's going to show me the way to go in this program. And he did. You know, I had to learn something, though. I had to learn that when I first came into the program, it was new. And I had to learn that everybody who comes in the program, they still dealing with self-centeredness. They still not taking accountability. They still think they on high top. You know, how can you come into recovery and think you on top when you ain't even dealt with the disease of an addiction yet? And I had to learn, so I used to watch people, and that's what I do now. I watch people. Sometimes I don't say a word. I just watch people. I listen now. I learn more by listening. And I used to watch people, and and some of them would go out, leave, and then come back, and everything I saw everybody else do, I didn't want to do that, because I didn't want to have to keep coming back and forth into the program and never get no clean time and never have nothing to celebrate. And so I just watched people, and I went around the older peoples. I stayed around older peoples that had years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, 30, and I got connected. I got connected to the meetings. I got connected to the therapists. I got connected to the counselors. I kept numbers. I wrote numbers down, and I wrote meetings and what days and what night, because I knew I was in a place that I could get healthy, that I can understand this disease. And when I went in there for 28 days, I'm telling you, the scariest part about coming out of treatment was I was going to fail again. So I said, God, please, I said, I need some help. I don't want to use again. Everything is there, and when we in the treatment place, in the facility, we in safe haven. But once you leave, once you start to, and I didn't understand this. I didn't understand getting ready to leave inpatient. And when I got ready to come out, my stomach was just in knots. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand why I was feeling like that I wanted to use. I didn't understand why my stomach was in a ball. I did not understand why I was feeling that way. So before I left the hospital, I called my counselor, and I told my counselor, I said, I can't leave the hospital. And he said, why? I said, because my stomach is not, I'm scared. And I'm scared that, if I leave, that I'm going to go back to using. He said, Renee, that's the place that you're supposed to be. You in a place that you're supposed to be. Don't let that detour you. Remember, for 28 days now you coming back alive. 28 days now you beginning to feel. 28 days you've been doing inventory. 28 days you connected with your feelings. 28 days that you've been in here, you dealing with the guilt. You dealing with the shame. And don't forget all that. Don't forget everything that you're feeling and every thought that you was thinking inside of inpatient. Don't forget it. Take it with you and carry it. He said, now, go and spread your wings and fly. Remember, I told y'all that through all my thing. I told you that. That stuck with me. Go and spread your wings and fly. Man, that was deep. And when he said that to me, I went in the bathroom and I put some water on my face and asked God to come into my life right then. I said, God, I know you're here, but I need you, God. I need to know that you are here with me while I walk out of this door and get into the real world. The real world was scary because I was in that world once upon a time. But for 28 days, I've been out of that world. I ain't know nothing existed. I ain't talked to my kids. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I wanted to get myself together so when I come out, I will never use again. Man, 28 to 30 people that was in there with me. And half of them didn't make it. Tell you the truth, half of them is dead. When they said millions didn't make it, but I was the one that did, they ain't never lied. Because all the friends that I met in treatment, in inpatient, I've seen some, and we talk about all the other ones that done died. that went back to using, or was sick and started back using. My life was on the line. I wasn't playing no game with nobody. I had to do this for me. It was only about me and my kids. Only about that. I wasn't trying to get in no relationship. I saw people's in relationship and treatment. I'm like, man, how's you in a relationship and treatment and all of us in here for the same reason, the disease of an addiction, and you trying to date or you trying to flirt? I didn't come in there. I came in there to save my life. That's why I tell you I pay attention and I watch everything and I speak slowly because I know my life was crucial. It was in a crucial stage. A lot of health problems because I was continuing to use. A lot of health problems I created on my own because of my self-centered, and I wanted to keep on using, and I didn't want to leave the drug alone, and I wanted the drug to still continue to be my friend. I wanted the drug to still lie to me. I wanted the drug to still send me broken promises. I wanted the drug to be everything that I know I shouldn't have been wanting in my life. I abused me. You abused you. Mentally, emotionally, physically. We abused ourselves. And it wasn't until I woke up and realized that I ain't got to lie no more. I can look at what it really is. My choice, my will, my brokenness, my not surrendering all cost me a lot of issues. What do you mean you abuse yourself? Okay, I'll tell you what. I abuse myself when I stay up all night getting high and drinking and get up to live to use and use to live and get up the next day and do the same thing. And so your 3 years is 365 days in a year, right? And so 365 days, if I wasn't smoking or I wasn't drinking, I was popping pills, I was doing something to keep my addiction active. Keep using. I kept using. So every day that I kept using add up to another day. So I knew that I was in trouble because I started getting health problems, didn't pay attention, didn't care. All I wanted to do was get high. Chase something. I wanted that first high, that first time that I was introduced to crack cocaine and alcohol, but that first time that I was introduced was to crack. I wanted that same feeling, and guess what? I never got it. All I did was chase it. All I did was spend money. All I did was hurting me over and over again. And I never got the high that I got when I first started. And realized I never will. Anything that you do that you ain't never done before is going to give you the most high in the world. And you chase it from then on. I had to admit to God. I had to tell God, I'm sorry. Because if I abuse myself emotionally, then I had to abuse my kid emotionally. If I abuse myself mentally, then I did some damage to my kids along the way. See, when you get honest and you come into recovery and you know you need some help, but you still want to justify that you can't stop using, then until you learn how to surrender, you will not stop using. Surrender is what it says. Surrender everything. Like they tell you to come bring your car. When you done miss your payment, surrender your car so we can get it. You got to surrender to the God of your understanding so you can make it, so you can get it. And I had to learn what surrendering really was. Not trying to hold on to this and save this and put this back on the back burner. You got to surrender it all in order to see the product that you become. And I had to let go of some things. I had to let go of the way I was thinking. I had to let go of the actions, the things I did in my active use and when I was out there in the world. I had to let go of a lot of things. I had to say goodbye. I had to tell God, okay, God, now you said you're going to do the driving for me. Now, if you're going to do the driving for us, and if you're going to take control over our lives, and if you're going to show us right and wrong, if you're going to put us in some places that we're going to get some positive peoples and some good talking to, and some good therapists and counselors. You know, God, I should be able to make it. And then as I started reading, I liked what I was reading, because everything I read had God in it. Everything it says you have to surrender to the will of God, the power of your understanding. I was hard-headed. I had to do some inventory. Why do I have to surrender? Well, if you don't want to surrender, keep using. Because that's what's going to happen. You're going to keep making a lie, keep telling lies, so you can keep using and drinking. You're going to keep blaming other people. You're never going to look at the part you played. You're never going to take accountability for nothing. You was doing better blaming everybody else so you can continue to get high, so you continue to do what you want to do. And that's how we became. I was a using addict every day. Every day that I woke up, I needed something to just deal for that day. Got clean. All of a sudden, all these feelings and emotions start being all over the place. I always cried. And I always cried because I was so lost. I didn't even know how lost, or you don't even know how lost we became in the world of addiction. The things that people did to me, that I allowed you to do to me, up under the influence of drug addiction, I allowed you to do things to me that I knew that if I had been clean and sober, it would have never ever happened. I knew if I had knew that this would cause me to sleep in the places that I ended up sleeping in. Oh, the God of my understanding was taking the driver's seat. Because all of a sudden, I started thinking right. I started living right. I started going to meetings. I started looking for sponsorship. I started programming my daily activity. I started having a destination when I got up in the morning and get ready to go to a meeting at night. Man, my whole life started changing. I started feeling good. I started cleaning up. I started dressing better. I started smelling better. I kept recovery was starting to feel good. I got a purpose to live. I got to keep telling myself I hate this disease and I'll never use again. Somebody told me never say never. I've been saying it for over 3 decades, and I'm going to continue to say it. I ain't never using again. I hate this disease. It broke me. It harmed me. It lied to me. It told me I was going to be okay. I feel sorry. I pray every day to touch the ones that's still struggling, God. You see me, God. You knew what I had turned into. You know I had become an impulsive liar, a cheater. I turned my will and my life over to the care of drugs. Drugs. I did everything, anything, to get some drugs. And sometimes when I talk about it and painful things happen, It'll pop up. It'll pop up how I wanted to not be alive. That's how bad it gets. That's how bad it gets when you have no control. When you done turn all your will and all your control over to the disease of an addiction. But I got great news. I got some good news. You ain't never alone. You're a phone call away. All you got to do is get to a meeting. All you got to do is make a phone call. You are never alone. When they told me that, they meant that. I am never alone. For the first time, somebody told me something, and they were so truthful about it. I ain't never alone in this program. I can pick up a phone and call anybody any time of the day if I got a problem. I can call and tell somebody I'm in trouble. I can call and tell somebody that I lost a loved one. I'm freaking out. I can call and tell somebody I got an urge to use. This is what I did coming in. Until the God of my understanding gave me enough courage and enough understanding about this disease of addiction, my calls got fewer. Come on, Renee. My calls got fewer. My hesitation got better. My eye opening, I can see now. Only because I took my hands off the steering wheel. I didn't know I had crashed so many times in my life. The God of my understanding, He working on us. And I'm going to continue to ask Him to work on us. And we're never alone. For the ones that struggling, the ones that want to stop and don't know how, or feel like you can't, or feel like it's no hope. It's hope in everything in this program. This program offers us dignity. It offers us our life back. It offers us a brighter days in our life. It offers us hope shot. It offers us enlightening us on when we making mistakes or when we doing something wrong. This program has enlightened me to learn about the disease. You got to learn about anything that you've been taking. And I had to get butt naked truthful and start telling on my disease. And I didn't want to ever use again. I just didn't want to use again. My life was at a spiral to where I wanted to give up. I did not even want to be here. I didn't even want to see nobody. I isolated myself. I stayed in my room. I didn't do the things that our parents supposed to do. And I was guilty of that. And once I learned how to deal with the guilt and the shame and put my feelings in the perspective to where I can feel and feel the guilt and look at the shame and work on the resentments that I had and work on how to deal with my fears. I had fears. You know, I had fears of not staying clean. I had fears of disappointing myself over again, because every time I asked God to stop me from using and I stopped for a few days, I went right back. You know, so I didn't have a program. And when I found the program, the 12-step program, God sent me to 12-step program through a yellow page book. I thank God, and I still got that yellow page, and they never looked at a phone number until that day I turned that page and it went to Northwest General Hospital. I had to understand the disease of an addiction. I had to know that the one thing that the meetings gave me, the one things about the peoples in the NA program gave me was love. And some of us come in broken, and we haven't had that love because we had to hide and shield our feelings, and we had to isolate, and we had to tell a lie after a lie, after a lie, another lie to cover up. And when I got into the meetings, they made me feel like I belong. They made me feel like that I am worthy. They made me feel like that it's hope. It made me feel like, Renee, you got a new way to live. A new way to live without the drugs and alcohol. You can live real good, Renee, without the drugs and alcohol. And I'm telling you all too, whoever listen, whoever come up on my site, you can live good without the drugs and the alcohol. You can go through pain and hurt without the drugs and alcohol. You can go through lonely. You can go through hurt. You can go through pain, physical pain, mental pain. Long as you don't use, watch what happens. I tell people all the time, the best thing that I ever gave myself was a chance to live right, was a chance to not put the drugs and alcohol in me no more, the chance on letting God take the steering wheel. So what happens? What happens, Renee, when God takes the steering wheel? You surrender. You let go. You said, God, here it is. Hey, order my footsteps. Keep me in the 12-step program. Give me some books to read. Let me read the 12 steps. Let me keep it honest and open. And let me keep a open mind on everything in my life. Even when disappointment comes through your family, your kids, I have to still stay clean. I can't get high. I can't go and smoke weed like they do. I can't go and drink like they do. I have to deal with my feelings between me and God. But I have to remember now, I took my hands off the steering wheel and told God to take charge. You drive. Because if you drive, I won't crash. I might be hurt, but I won't crash. I might be misunderstood, but I won't crash. Best thing I ever did was turn it over to God and let Him drive for me. I make decisions to talking to the God of my understanding. Sometimes I don't even understand myself, but I tell you what, multiple things that recovery has did for me, it taught me how to be patient. Now that I am. Anybody can tell you that wasn't me. That wasn't me back in the days. Oh no, I'm patient. I take the hurt that I got and deal with it. Turn it over to God. God, remember. I told you my hands is off. I don't want to drive no more because all the driving I've been doing through all these years, I've been crashing, I've been hurting people, I've been hurting me over and over again. I don't want to do it. I don't want another drink. I don't want nothing that's going to take me out of the joy that I have today. I worked hard for this joy, and I ain't going to let nobody take it from me. Because, see, you didn't have to go through what I had to go through or what you had to go through or what we had to go through. They didn't have to go through all that, what we had to go through. We had to give up a lot of things. We had to say bye-bye. I had funerals to drugs. Okay, now, you know, I'm closing the casket on you. I can't deal with you, so I'm saying goodbye. And goodbye means I don't want to see you no more. Goodbye means I'm done. I'm done drinking. I'm done trying to fit in. I'm done trying to be something that I ain't. I'm done trying to let you hurt me. I'm done on hurting me over and over and over and over again. I'm done getting up sick and throwing up and can't remember who stole this from me and who did I open my legs for because I'm in the midst of alcohol and drugs. I'm done. I'm better because of the program. I'm better because I don't use, no matter what. Death. When I first came into recovery and I was clean all those years and my mother died, you know, that was so scary for me. I had to call up my girls and they all came over and I had to call them because I had never felt the feeling that I was feeling before, dealing with losing my mother, dealing with saying goodbye to my mother, or I got to go down and drive, and I got to go and bury my mother, and all these years I've been clean, and now Satan is working on me. Satan want me to go and use. He want me to mess up. He want me to go get high again. He want me to throw away all the clean time that she saw me work whole hard for, and I had to fight some demons, y'all. I had to fight some demons. I had to call some peoples. I had to get on the prayer line. I had to get on my prayer wards and tell them to pray for me. Come see me. I didn't want to tell them I was scared, because that pride has set in. But honey, when I lost my mother, the pride stepped aside. I need help. I need ones that really love me around me, because I'm at a scary place in my life. I just lost the first love of my life, other than the God of my understanding, and I don't know what to do with me right now. I know what the program tells me to do. I know what it suggests me to do, but am I willing to go all the way and say goodbye to my mama? My mama. Can't get high. How am I face this? I got to do all this driving, 5 o'clock, Carlo. We got to do all this driving, and I can't even stop and sneak and get high or take a drink. I can't do nothing. They said no matter what happens, you got to stay. You got to let God be. Renee, you gave up your wheel. You gave up the steering wheel so God can drive it. And don't try to drive, because you're going to crash. You're going to get high again. If you don't remember all the years you got clean, you will lose it in one day, 1 minute at a time, and I was scared. How many years you been clean? Lose a mother, lose a dad that's been good to you and been there for you. Lose a mother that was your mom and dad. I had both. Johnny Pittman was a good dad to us. Reverend Johnny Pittman was a good dad to me. Hey! You don't know until you're the first one to get in it. All them years clean, and I had to call on some people because I got scared in the midst of pain, in the midst of trouble. Can't talk to my mom no more. But I can't call at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning no more. What? I need something, God. Oh, but God, I promise you, if you just take the steering wheel, that I surrender. I give it all to you. Okay, God. Okay, God. What's happening? Because the way I'm feeling, hey, Sandra, good to see you, baby. The way I'm feeling, pain and disappointment, what makes people get high? Rejection, disappointment, hurt, and pain is the reason why all of us have used. Through some kind of pain, through some kind of hurt, through some kind of neglect, through some kind of betrayal, through some kind of pain. Good to see you, Sandra, all the way from Mississippi. Some kind of pain. Man, that was a pain I couldn't even explain to nobody. I cried. I didn't even know I had that many tears that been saved up in my body. I didn't know that the pain had got so great that I had to go to bed at night by myself. Nobody to hold me, nobody to comfort me. Only person that I knew that could trust that was going to comfort me and hold me was a man that I could not see, but I knew he was there. I knew God was there. I didn't get high. I didn't go down south and get high. I didn't come back and get high. I stood what the program told me to stand for, no matter what. No matter what. And so, when a greater pain that you bury a mother and you clean, And then you turn around and you bury your son. And you clean. And never use. And you clean. Can't nothing ever make me use. I lost the greatest woman in the world, and that was my mother. That didn't judge me, didn't talk about me, didn't reject me, even in my youth, still loved me, still prayed for me, still carried me, paid my bills when I messed up with the drugs and alcohol. Yeah. I lost somebody special. But yet you tell me I can't get high. No matter what. I can't take a drink. Oh, when I got to Mississippi, oh my God, I was all over the place. The next morning, I got to say goodbye to my mama being in the house with her spirit all in there, and the urges was coming on me. I mean, they was coming. So anybody tell you 30 years, 60 years, 40 years, 20 years, that urges was coming. Satan wanted me to use the man that I had been serving for all them years, that I had let invest in me, and I invested in the drug, and him also was trying to get me to go back to use. Said no matter what. From then, when I buried my mother, I knew I would never use again. I knew God had took control. I had surrendered and gave him the driver's seat. And he been driving for me ever since. He been driving for you all ever since. To the ones that have not used are still clean. All my friends that still clean, doing what they need to do. He driving for you too. It ain't your driving. It's God's driving. I had to turn it over. My will, my everything was turned over to the care of God. As the one I love, the one I talk to every day, every night, I had to turn it over. So don't think you're going to come in this program and everything is going to be peachy and everything every day, because it ain't. You're going to have some hurt. You're going to have some death. You're going to have some pain. Physical pain, mentally pain, emotionally pain. But we can't use. 12-step program has been so good to not just me, to millions. Showed us a way that we can change our life in the atmosphere, in the world we living in. This world is wicked. This world is crazy right now. But I stay to myself. I stay with my God and my understanding. And I keep the 12-step program alive in me. I cannot drink. I cannot use. So that means that I'm going to have to spend more time with me. I'm okay with spending time with me, because God has allowed me time to grow. I don't never want to use. For the ones who know about using, you don't want to go back, and even when you go back, it's worse. I don't ever want to go back to the drugs. I don't ever want to go back to the alcohol. I don't ever want to go back to popping pills. I don't ever want to go back to nothing that's going to take control over my body, my mind, and soul. It don't belong to me no more. The God of my understanding came in and cleaned me up, took the driver's seat, and been driving for me ever since. You know, and all I do is understand the way God works. We supposed to use him. We supposed to count on him. We supposed to talk to him. We supposed to check in with him. We supposed to let him be in the driver's seat. I thank God. I thank God that I don't use no more. And y'all can think I'm saying this. Well, really, I really don't care. It's to a point I had to save my life. On 90% was me. And I worked on me. 10% was only the drug. Do y'all get that? 90% of us was due to us, and 10% was only the drug. Ain't that something? So, you know, our behaviors, our characters, our self-centeredness, our grandioses took us overboard. I stay humble. I love the God I talk about. I walk the walk that I talk about. I'm new. 12 steps taught me how to get my joy, how to understand the disease, how to know that I don't play with this disease. I can never drink or use again. And for that, I'm grateful. I don't have to like you and drink with you just because you do. I'm a recovering addict, and I have to respect that at all times about me, that I am recovered. When you are recovering, Satan will send things to you to corrupt your mind, to think you that you can take one drink. 1,000 is nothing. One, hey, what they say, one is too much and 1,000 is never enough. That's what they say, and that's the truth. So if I take that one, I'm going to keep 1,000 ain't going to never be enough. I'm going to keep wanting to use and keep wanting to use. Thank y'all for being a part of my process. I thank me for being a part of my own process. I never knew that I can be in love with me. I never knew. I mean, all of me, not just some parts of me, not just my butt, not just my eye, all of me. I ain't never knew to love me. Totally me. I always looked for it from somebody else. To feel wanted, to feel loved. I don't need that no more. I found it for me. Now, if God want me to share it with somebody, He want to send somebody in my life to share it with, that's God's will. Remember, I don't drive no more. Whatever God got for you, you gonna get it. And what God don't want for you, you won't miss it. Remember that. Okay, y'all. I love y'all. To the ones that's on there and the ones who I can't see, Michelle, my friend Michelle, thank you. Sandra, all the way from Mississippi, Sandra Abe, and I'm proud of you, Sandra. What you did with them kids and did with yourself, I'm proud of you, baby. Catherine, proud to see you, baby. For the ones who get on here later on and afterwards, thank you. I celebrate you for being a part of my process. I celebrate you for loving on me. It was times that you all loved on me. I celebrate you because you're clean and you made a change in your life. It's all about changing who we are and become better peoples. You know, and I'm so glad I learned about the disease of an addiction. And I thank God that I don't never have to even want to think about using ever again. So I done been through the hurt. I done been through the pain. I done been through the death. I done been through it. I done been through the worst of it all. Can't nothing else hurt me. And I want y'all to do me a favor for me. Please do me a favor. My cousin Pixie is in the hospitals. Sunday will be 2 weeks. She really sick, y'all. And I called her today. And I can hear it in her voice. And I haven't went to see her because I don't want to see Pixie like that. But I'm going tomorrow. That's my cousin. Me and her get along. We eat together. We do some of everything together. But y'all help me, please. See, prayer is the key. And if I ain't never asked y'all to do anything, please pay for Pixie Noah. I mean, she's sick. We asking God to move some things, and whatever His will is, you know, Lord, fix her. Because I've never seen my cousin this sick. Continue to pray for Pixie for me. Pray for her 2 kids while they have to endure their mother being in the hospital. It's real sad for me, because I wake up with her on my mind and I go to bed with her on my mind. You know, I don't get close to people, but me and Pixie always, I think, been close. Keep her in prayer for me. I will let y'all know how her progress comes out. And I know God is going to do some good things and some wonderful things for her, but she's going through something right now. We are on step 1 for Sunday. And let me tell you why I love this step. This step was the first step that I had to learn how to endure. This first step right here. We admit that we are powerless and over our addiction, and that our lives have become unmanageable. This what got it for me. We have to admit that we are powerless over drugs and alcohol. I can't win. You can't win over our addiction, and that our lives have become unmanageable. I'm going to be fired up on this one, y'all, because this is my favorite one. This what started me off. This what got me to the point that I never wanted to forget that I'm an addict. And I thank y'all for being a part of my process. If anybody ever told you that they love you, tell Renee. Tell them that Renee Williams said that she loved you. And I show love. I give love. I don't just talk about it. I show it, I give it, and I receives it. Remember, they say I'm never alone. You're never alone neither. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a good, safe weekend. This air is still bad. I've been staying out of it. My sister Evangelist Selena was really sick, but I've been staying out of it because I can't afford to get sick. I can't afford to get no kind of sickness. I thank y'all. We're going to close out. God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom, you hear me? The wisdom to know the difference. May God bless you. Thank y'all for coming on here tonight. Maybe I'll see y'all Sunday. And I thank God that we on step 1. And step 1 is a beautiful step because that started me off with my knowing about my disease. Step 1 is a powerful step, because if you can get to that step and work on that step, it took me years to stay on that step, and I'm still on that step. I am powerless over our addiction, but my life is manageable now. That's the difference. God bless. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you Sunday. Good night, y'all.